For 10 years, I worked at a secret government facility. I regret ever going there. Me and my best friend Rob were assigned to guard an empty hall. When I asked the supervisor why we were guarding an empty hallway, he just told me to let nothing in and out of the hallway. So on our first day, we didn't question anything. We stood in front of a huge unknown metal door with no obvious way to open it. The first 4 years were pretty calm. We would usually not pay attention and just talk to each other. I heard people whispering inside. I asked Rob, did he hear that? He replied, yeah. I didn't know that we were guarding humans. I made a be quiet movement to Rob and laid my ear against the door. What I heard inside did not sound like humans. I could not understand what they were saying. It almost sounded out of this world. After our shift, I told our supervisor, Dr. Kurt, about the whispers. He replied, if you hear sounds from inside the hall, you don't, and walked past me. So for the next 3 years, we occasionally heard sobbing and the whispers did not stop. We just ignored the sounds as told by Dr. Kurt. That was only until we heard someone say, please let me out. Rob looked like all the blood out of his face was drained and said, you heard that right. I replied, yeah, we're not allowed to open the door, you know that. But what if there's someone in there that needs our help, he said. We don't open the door no matter what. So we moved on. Coincidentally, Dr. Kurt talked to me later that day. He asked if anything special happened. I replied, yeah, someone asked us to let them out. We didn't open the door. Good, he replied. For the next year or so, we kept hearing more concerning sounds of people needing our help to get out. It was only until the end of the year, Dr. Kurt told us, we are going into the hallway. He said also, when you go in, count the feet you have walked. So the next day at work, there were 2 unknown men already waiting at the door for me and Rob. They both had backpacks and heavy rifles. One of the men gave me a rope, not a normal rope you would find in the store. A rope so long I could not find the end. Dr. Kurt said, get ready, and opened the door. I was ready to shoot anything, but when I walked into the hallway, there was no one there. As I walked forward, I noticed I could not see the back of the wall, even with my flashlight on. So I tied the rope to the door and started walking forward, keeping the rope rolling. After about 10 feet, Rob asked, I didn't think the hallway was this big. It doesn't look this long from the outside. After 100 feet, I asked one of the men, how long is this hallway? How long will we be walking? He simply looked at me, frustrated, and ignored me. After 500 feet, I could not look behind me anymore. If I did, it was just fog and darkness. I started hearing very soft whispers, like the ones we heard guarding the door. Another 100 feet later, I heard this loud drum. I looked around nervously and noticed one of the men were gone. The other man said, from this point on, be careful, shoot anything you see. As we kept walking, I didn't see any solid figures, only shadows, until I heard another drum. This time Rob was gone. We were now at 900 feet, and I told the man we should head back. It's dangerous here. The man finally replied, we just need to keep going a little while. 1,000 feet, I've ran out of rope. This is where the man said, this is good. We should head back now. As he said that, we turned around. What I didn't expect is to hear a woman scream, help, don't leave me here. I turned and said, did you hear that? We have to go back. The man grabbed me by my shoulder violently. Do not turn around again. You got that? I replied, yes sir, knowing this man was superior above me. So we started walking back. Although the man was walking, maybe twice as fast this time, it looked like he was in a hurry. As I heard another drum on the wall or ceiling, I'm not sure. I knew what happened this time. The last man was gone. I started sprinting back to the door. At 400 feet I was tired. I realized all the water we had was carried by the unknown men. I had no choice but to keep going. At about 300 feet, I heard it again, the loud drum. I don't know how long it was between that and me waking up at the hospital. When I woke up, it did not look like a normal hospital. Then Dr. Kurt came in. He didn't say a word. He just injected me with some unknown substance. When I was released from the hospital, I drove back home. But when I arrived, I thought I saw my wife, but she looked disformed, like if someone smashed her in the face. It was all messed up. She acted like nothing happened and just hugged me, so I don't know what happened. That day, I've never seen Rob or the unknown men after that. All I know is that I don't belong here, not in this world. I'm a 14-year-old boy. This happened at April 24th, 2023. I have to stay home alone sometimes because my mom works too hard and my dad doesn't contact me. One day, I asked my mom if I could go outside because I'm home playing video games and I was tired of it. I wanted to go outside and sit in the park. She said yes, and I went to the park close to me. It was fun until I saw a man staring at me. It was kind of weird, and I didn't mind it. But when I got up to explore the park more, because it was a big park, he followed me everywhere. I know I'm a boy and I should fight back, but I'm not good at it. I went in McDonald's, which was close. That man came inside and sat close to me. I picked up my phone and watched him using screen reflection, which he didn't see. Then I got up and left the McDonald's, and guess what? He followed me. I ran until I got to the police station, but when I looked back, he was gone. I ran to my home and closed the door. I was thinking about this for hours, and I slept. Hours later, I heard an aggressive door banging downstairs. I got scared and looked out from the window, and that man was there. He was looking at me with his demon eyes. I didn't think of that much and called the cops. The cops arrived very soon, but the man was nowhere to be seen. An hour later, my mom came and I told her everything. I survived against a strange man that day. Cops were at my house protecting me for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, that man was caught stalking a little girl. Of course they knew how that man looked like, because I never forgot his face. And I still remember that demonic eyes, which scares me, and I see them in my nightmares every night. I still can't help myself. I am thinking about that man everywhere. It's a mood killer. I'm tired of seeing that man in my nightmares.